Hey guys, one month on another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Monday morning. Hope everyone's all right. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. And whatever you got up to, I hope it treated you well. Obviously, Spurs this week are back to playing football. It felt very weird to have not watched us at the weekend. But Spurs are back, obviously, on the 6th, which is a Thursday against AZ Alkmaar in the Europa League. So preview out tomorrow for that game. We'll be also doing, we also have Bournemouth the weekend on Sunday as well. So back to playing twice this week. I'm looking forward to it, ironically. It felt weird not to have watched Spurs this week, but I am looking forward to it personally. But in this video, though, we are going to be talking about, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. We're talking about Antoine Semenyo. We're talking Bissouma and sort of more revelations coming out surrounding clubs interested in Bissouma, Nico Paz. We're going to be talking about Romero being called up for Argentina. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't throw the toys out the pram just yet. We will get there. Anyway, morning, Steve, Sonia, Spurs, Dragon, Adiz, Bazza, Al Dente, Jake, how are we all? So look, let's jump in. Let's talk some transfers. First and foremost, let's talk some bloody transfers. And we're going to start with Antoine Semenyo, because Gold said that Tottenham are set to revive their interest in signing Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth this summer. Now, let's have a bit of chat about some of his stats and what have you. He's 25 years old. He's born in January, so he's a very young 25-year-old. He plays all across, really, the front three. Winger mostly, but you can play all across the front three. His contract expires in the summer of 2029. Again, very key thing to remember in this. This season, across across the FA Cup, Premier League, and EFL Cup, he's played 30 times. He scored 9 goals with 5 assists, so 14 goal contributions. Let's just call it 1 in every 2. Let's just do that. Now, I like Antoine Semenyo. I think he's a really, really good player, and I think Bournemouth right now, they've sort of hit that real nice sweet spot. Bournemouth, so many really good, exciting players. Maybe players that before signing for Bournemouth, you wouldn't think, oh, they're going to be great. They're going to be this. I mean, Justin Kluivert, wonder kid, goes to Italy, didn't do very well in Italy, come to Bournemouth, and he might be their best player now. And he's having a really, really good season. Antoine Semenyo is not someone that sort of people would have known about very much before even this season. Even last season, people wouldn't have really known too much about Semenyo. Sometimes players just need an opportunity. And he's really got this opportunity, and he's ran with it, and he looks super exciting. The fact he can play across the front three is something that when we were talking about, Kolo Muani, we talked about Matisse Tell, the guys that can play across more than one position in the attack. And that's what Spurs were wanting. This is another one. I really like Semenyo. I really, really do. Obviously, when we get linked to Semenyo and Buemo, we've been linked to quite a few of those sort of, mid-table-ish, mid-table-ish. You'll get someone going, actually, they're above the mid-table. And it's like, shut up, you loser. Those sort of teams who really, they have sort of that 2 or 3 really outstanding players. And Buemo and Semenyo are going to be both of those. I mean, Semenyo is going to be easily 50 million. Easily 50 million. I think he's probably going to be, I'd say about 60. I think that's where he's going to be. I mean, I think Mbeumo is going to be something similar. Obviously, the fact that Semenyo's got come summertime, a 4-year contract still, he's not going to be cheap. It's going to be one of those moves that if we do make it, it'll probably be the big move of our summer, So we'll sort of see. We'll sort of see on Semenyo. It's obviously a long time till the summer. Now, you'd hope, because there's no international football this summer, that Lang, Levy, whoever else gets involved in transfers right this second are already preparing for the summer. They've had a whole month since the January transfer window. They need to be now putting things in place. So once the summer hits and the window opens, deals are done more efficiently. They sort of mucked up a little bit in January. I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to dig them out. But in the summer, there is no international football. There is no excuses for not getting deals done quicker. When there is international football, obviously you go, well, do you know what? A lot of teams don't want to do business at that time, or players or agents don't want to do business at that time because they want to focus on that tournament, for example. There is no excuse this summer. There is no international football. So get at it. Get at it. Nice one, Baz, mate. Nice one. Sean, how are you, my friends? Semenyo's 50, 60 million. Let's get 4 of them. I want to watch Levy faint. Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Moving on, though, let's talk a little bit Bissouma. So give me sports saying that Bissouma will be allowed to leave in the summer. Not shocking. He's currently attracting interest from Marseille, Nice, and Crystal Palace. I was watching Marseille last night. This is how bored I was this weekend. I was watching all sorts of random football. I was watching Marseille last night against, I think it was Nantes. And I was like, so they're gonna get Bissouma. Hypothetical, obviously. They're gonna get Bissouma to play alongside Højbjerg. I was like, that is mental. That is mental. Like you're gonna go from having Spurs with those two who used to sort of, I guess you call them, would rotate between that 6th position, to Marseille going, we'll have both of them. Now, Bissouma, it does make sense for Bissouma at Marseille. De Zerbi being at Marseille, that obviously is, I guess, a lure, you could say. They've got some all right players at Marseille. Now, Adrien Rabiot's playing centre attacking mids. Didn't think that was a thing, but yeah, he looked pretty decent yesterday. So could be going into that. I mean, it's so often that we see a team buy just multiple Spurs players. I mean, I look at AC Milan right now. Two of their right backs are Kyle Walker and Emerson Royale. Leicester City, Harry Winks and Oliver Skipp. Teams love it. They love it. You know what I mean? It's getting boring talking about what if signings every day, months before the transfer window. You know it's going to be a load of 18-year-olds. None of these what if signings land. Levy be strategizing. We don't make an offer until after Liverpool buys centre back and Arteta buys striker and City buys Europe. A couple of nights earlier, I told you about this guy Nico Paz, but you shrugged it off. Well, when I come and talk about him, you'll see why I'm going to shrug it off. Cardozo scored it Madrid, absolutely. Cozy, how are you, my friend? Seems that we may have Romero and Solanke back for AZ return leg. It's a worry that there is no word on Van der Ven. He's not training yet and not seen around either. Concern. Kane, Dyer and Kane at Bayern. One day you're going to eat your words with Semi Kilik. He scored at the weekend, I think, for Besiktas. But look, we'll see about Biss. We'll sort of go from there. Let's talk Taylor Harwood-Bellis. This is an odd one. This is an odd one for me. And well, hang on. It's not odd in the sense that homegrown. He is actually, I think he's an England international now, isn't he? He's played one game for England. He's just scored. Yes, he's got 1 goal on his only game for England. So actually, he's England's best ever goal scorer now. No, it's one of them at least. But yeah, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. You know, there is this report from TBR Football saying that he is linked with Spurs, Aston Villa, and other Premier League clubs. Now, he is a regular fixture in the Southampton defence. A regular fixture at Southampton defence. It's not a great thing to be saying, though. Southampton, rooted to the bottom of the table. It's not a great thing to be saying that anyone is a regular for Southampton in that regard. Obviously, look, not every... I think one thing I would say is, yes, okay, maybe he plays for a team that is struggling defensively or struggling to keep goals out. He is only one guy. If the players around him, you know, aren't doing maybe what they need to do, what can you do? You know, we should see it, right. It's not a likewise example, but it's a ballpark example. We had a guy at Spurs, right? We signed him, and he joined with a big reputation, and everyone was really excited that we signed him. And then we signed him, and we kind of looked at it and went, I thought he'd be better. And then we signed someone else to play alongside him, and he turned out to be an absolute unreal centre-back. I'm actually talking about Jan Vertonghen, okay? Because when we first signed him, we were all very excited, and I don't think the move started the way everyone hoped it would. I think there was many other factors to impact that. Then we signed Toby Alderweireld, and you went, oh, he's playing alongside someone that's decent and knows what he's doing, and they know each other's games. Oh, Yam Tonga's actually really, really good. Hell, throw him in at left back, and he's still really good. So that's my thing. You know, maybe it's not always down to one player as to why things maybe aren't going as well. Now, if you are a very good defender, even in a poor team, you should be able to impact other players' play, and they step up. You could say that. So I'm trying to find you that balance, you know. Joshua, how are you, my friend? I'm good. Marshall, how are you, my friend? Say about Paz months ago with Ravello's 2 targets I wanted us to go for. Think Paz is a top young player, would fit the type of player that we would try and sign. You reckon they think he'd be the next Virgil van Dijk? In 2017, Vertonghen was excellent. He carried Sanchez, I think, who I never rated. Well, look, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The Vertonghen move didn't work at first. Once we started signing players that actually knew how to defend, he also went up a level. You can't always do everything. You know, Van Dijk, really solid at Southampton. Van Dijk now, different kettle of fish, right? Absolutely different players. He was good at Southampton. Everyone, yeah, he's good at Southampton. Yeah, we really like him. He's really solid. He's gone to Liverpool, and he's one of the best centre-halves to play in the Premier League. He'd have never been that at Southampton. So sometimes it's always about what's around. So I'm not going to say Harwood-Bellis is rubbish or he's amazing, all right? I think he's somewhere in the middle. I think he's decent. Now, they signed him for about, I think it was about 20 million. It was something around there Southampton signed him for. So, you know, where would they get that where would that fee look like in the summer? Now, they're going to get relegated. I don't think anyone, if they don't, fair play, I'll eat my words, but I think they're going to get relegated. I think they've got Liverpool this weekend as well. So I think they're gone. And we talked about like James Maddison, for example. The James Maddison deal was 40 million and then Winks went there for 10. So James Maddison ended up working at 30 million. I don't think Harwood-Bellis is going to cost more than 40. If he does, steer clear. See you later. Hope someone comes get you. It's got to be closer to 30 for me. Even with the fact he's homegrown and there's English tax on that. And that's why I'm saying, because some people go, Southampton at 40 million, you mad? It's like homegrown, English tax. English tax is 15 million alone. So that's why you always got to factor that into every deal. So, I mean, the fact is, he is in the Roy Keane family, if I remember correctly, and Roy Keane, the Spurs fan. So you never know on that one, at least. Summarise well about Harwood-Bellis. 3 months out of Romero in the Argentina squad has to be a joke. Just don't get bent out of shape about Romero. I'll talk about him in a minute. I thought he'd be better. Tel, Van der Ven, Cooley, Odebert, Doggy, Solanke, almost every signing since the 80s. Virgil van Dijk, back to his best after injury. He hasn't been talked about enough. Van Dijk was huge at Celtic. He could boss it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not denying that he was good. No, my point is, once he went to Liverpool, it was like the glass ceiling got shattered and his performance levels just kept going through and through and through and higher and higher and higher. And I expected him at some point next, sort of between the last year or two, to start to slow down a bit. And they're the best defense in the league. Oh, I still think Liverpool are. So it's like, okay, he's not slowing down. He's continuing to stay at that brilliant level, you know? So, but yeah, there's that on Harwood-Bellis. Let's move on because we still have more to talk about. Plenty more to talk about, actually. Let's talk about Nico Paz. So, TBR Football again saying that Tottenham Hotspur scouts have been really impressed by Como midfielder Nico Paz. Now, looking at Nico Paz, let's have a quick chat about him, the human. He's 20 years old. He's born in September, so he'll be 21 at the start of next season. He is an Argentine international. I know some of you are panicking as we speak. Just give me a second. He's got a contract until the summer of 2028. This season, he's played 25 games. He's scored 6 and assisted 5. So 11 goal contributions in those 25 games. You know, not far off 1 every 2 games. And just want to quickly come to the Serie A table because Como right now are sitting 13th. I believe they lost to Roma at the weekends. But sitting 13th, they are 6 points clear of the relegation zone. Obviously, I don't think anyone expected Como to be doing anything crazy this year. But the fact that, you know, he is 20, this is his first season after moving from the Castilla Real Madrid side. is very, very impressive. He got his Argentina debut this season in October. He is a central attacking midfielder, can play a little bit, is more of an 8/right wing as well. Good player. I think there's talk about, how if you factor in, the time that Maddison has missed as the creative midfielder, you do need to add someone in there to help him. And I would agree on that. You do need to help someone in there with the creative side. Maddison has missed quite a few games this season and last. We probably do need to give Spurs the opportunity to kind of add someone into that room to give us a bit more ability to rotate him out and keep him even fresher. Do you think there's any truth? 100? No, there's no truth in bids for them just yet. Interested in both, but no bids. Now on Nico Paz, the reason why I don't see there's anything to this is a couple of reasons. Actually, 3 different reasons. Because Real Madrid have 3 different buyback clauses. It's 8 million euros this summer. The clause will go up to 9 million euros and then 10 million euros over the next 2 summers. So basically, within the next 2 years, they can buy him back from Como for 10 million euros. They have a 50% sell-on clause. So again, I think with Como, as long as they make 20 million euros, they make their money that they'd expect. I don't see Real Madrid getting him this year because, you look at their side, Real Madrid's. There's a lot of their players who are extremely talented who don't play a ton of minutes when you think about like Arda Güler, Brahim Diaz. There's quite a few of those sort of players that don't get a ton of minutes at the moment. Is Nico Paz any better than them? You'd have to say no. So he's not going to get minutes there now. So I don't see them coming to get him, but in that case, which suits Como, obviously they'd be happy to keep him, but if they were to sell him, they want to make some serious money on him. And that's the part I struggle with. I think he'll end up at Real Madrid, though. I do see him going back to Real Madrid in sort of the next couple of years. The only way he doesn't is if someone offers crazy money, which I don't think Spurs would, if I'm honest. I don't. The fact he's another Argentina midfielder, that will make people panic. The fact he's an Argentine international, that will make people panic. It's like our club is scared of South Americans at the moment, which I'm coming to the Romero thing in a second. Give me a moment, I promise you. Good player, though. Really, really exciting talent. I just don't see Spurs being in there personally. For Real Madrid, it's a cheap deal. But, for anyone that's not named Real Madrid, I don't think it's a cheap deal whatsoever. We had a bid turned down for Gay in the winter, so every possibility want to go him and Eze, but no activity. Yeah, look, well, the bid for Gay was 65 million, basically. It's 68 million for Eze. That's his release clause. It's 60 million plus 8 million on add-ons. Mark Guay, it won't be 65 million in the summer. He's going to have 1 year left on his contract. It'll be about 40 to 50. And I think Mark Guay will actually end up back at Chelsea this summer. I think Chelsea will come back and get him. I don't see Spurs being there. That's why I think Spurs want him in January, so that at least they can get ahead of that market. Spurs won't be ahead of that market in the summer. Chelsea will come and get him. It won't be us personally. But Eze, I could see. It's a good player, Paz. Rumour is Real will take back and sell on to Inter. Maybe so. That's something that Real Madrid do quite frequently. That wouldn't shock me. And then there'll be a buyback clause on his deal to Inter as well. So, look, there's still chatter around Fratesi and Spurs. Don't see that one personally, but it wouldn't shock me on that side of things. Right, let's do it. Let's get in. Let's talk about it. Cristian Romero's been called up to the Argentine national squad. Okay, let that simmer for a second, right? There's going to be a few of you who are shouting at you're shouting at me through the camera. Can't believe this, Andy. He's never fit, and he's only just about to get back, and he's already in the Argentine squad. Oh, he doesn't care about Spurs. I guarantee there's a few of you right now going, "That's exactly what I think," and I get why you think that. I do. He's played only a handful of games. He's missed a lot of football over the last 6 months, and all we want to do is get the guy back fit. That's what we want, right? I don't think it's shocking. I think we can all agree we all want to get the guy back fit. And he is, touch wood, A little bit of that as well. Touch wood. I've not got any else around. He should be back this week for football. You know, it might not be. It might not be AZ this week, but hopefully it's Bournemouth at the weekend. He's all right for, even if it's just to sit on the bench. But definitely next week he should be back. Right now, first and foremost, do not panic. It's a preliminary squad. This isn't official. Okay, it's a preliminary squad. Argentina play. The first game is Uruguay on the 21st of March. So it's in 18 days' time. You think 2 weeks' time he'd fly out there, right? 2 weeks' time. If he is to play, right? Now let's play a hypothetical game on this. If he is to play at least Bournemouth, AZ, and Fulham, he's played 3 games leading into it, no issues, then I don't have that issue. I don't have that issue if he goes. If he gets through his games, no injury issues, I don't mind. Now, Argentina are obviously going to put him in the squads because he is their best defender. He's in training, fairly healthy. They've probably spoken to him or his agent to say, how is he doing? They probably went, yeah, he's all right. He's going to be good to go play some football for Spurs next couple of weeks. You can still call him up because he should be okay. Now, it's a preliminary squad because things can change. Romero might pull a hamstring tomorrow and he won't be able to play for Argentina. He might roll through these games, have absolutely 0 issues, and if he's fit, he plays. I have no issues with that either. Now, if he was to get through, I'm not talking about AZ on Thursday, so I'm talking about Bournemouth, AZ, Fulham. So the 9th of March to the 16th, right? Let's say he plays 2 of those games. He plays, I don't know, a total of 150 minutes. So he plays 60 minutes in one game. He plays 90 minutes. Let's say he plays 60 minutes against Bournemouth. He played 90 minutes against Fulham, right? He gets through that, no issues. Then he can go off to play Argentina. I don't mind. If he was to come through those games and he's just not right, then I would hope the club, because the club are allowed to do this, I'd just say he's not going off to international duty. He's not 100% fit yet. We don't want to risk it. You're allowed to do that. You're well within your right as a club to do that as well. Other clubs do it. Arsenal do it with some of their England players I've seen in the past. Man City have been known to do it. Real Madrid do it all the time with like Vinicius. Did it with Mbappe earlier on this year. I think Liverpool have done it from time to time. So it's not shocking to do that, and you're well within your rights to do so as a football club. But at the same point, you shouldn't keep players from playing for their country if they are fit. That is also a fair point. I can see why people are annoyed because, yeah, he has missed a lot of football recently, and he's always had a stigma around him, which I've kind of debunked this season because this season there's evidence that he has played for Spurs when not fit. I've told you. It was the game before Ipswich. I can't remember exactly who it was. He injures his toe. He plays the week after against Ipswich. We'd obviously lose that game. He goes on to international duty. He gets injured on international duty. Maybe Spurs could have gone, mate, you shouldn't be going. You're not fit. But regardless, he played for us before he went there and got injured. Okay? So he played through an injury to get there. So if people don't think he cares about Spurs and he only cares about Argentina, I have just proved you wrong. Okay? Spurs do need to have maybe more of a mindset of, hey, we need to protect these players from themselves because at the end of the day, when you're a footballer, all you want to do is play football. So you need to protect them from themselves sometimes. And, when we come to this situation now where we've got 4 games in 2 weeks, Mickey van der Ven's nearly back. Obviously, he won't be off to international duty. He's even more delicate of a situation. You need to be careful. But yeah, Romero comes back. And I love that. It's all Ange's fault. He injured Romero. It's all Ange's fault. So he had a toe injury, and then he pulled his quadricep. How's that Ange's problem? 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 12, does it? 2 plus 2 equals 4. Ange didn't injure him. If you think that, Jesus. Peter, how are you, my friend? Sorry, yesterday knew what the reaction would be. He's getting back to fitness and is world class. About why wouldn't he be called up? Club for country pay his wages. Again, State, I'm not denying that the club should care. The club should absolutely care. But if he's fit, he goes. If he's not fit, the club needs to say, hey, He's not right. He needs to stay. But if he comes through his 2-week period, he's played a decent amount of football and he's fine, then yeah, absolutely go. No issues for it. For Argentina, just think, why wouldn't you call it your best centre-back for Romero? Of course, he gets called up when he's fit, but I do hope we withdraw him from the squad. Again, let's just see how he gets on, you know? Doesn't bother me. You should want to play for your country. It shouldn't be seen as a bad thing. Country before club, tis the real prestige. You can get weaker players at your club. If you know anything about Argentine football fans, they'd be fuming if a possibly fit centre-back wasn't put in the team. Absolutely. Bayern threatened to withhold all players from international duty for Germany unless the German team kept Neuer as number one. Didn't know that. There you go. Learned something you say. Problem on that point, Andy, is that people say that Romero only played versus Ipswich so he could represent Argentina. He was actually fully fit. I don't say that myself, but I mean, if people say that, it kind of still makes my point more true. Okay, fine, he wanted to play for Argentina, but he also realised, but I'm going to have to play for Spurs, so I will play for Spurs. The guy cares about Spurs. Everyone thinks that Romero doesn't care about Spurs. It's just, what are we doing? He obviously does. He said it himself. Look, this season, he called out Daniel Levy. He called out the club for not really trying to be a great football team. He said, look, all the infrastructure's there. We could easily compete for titles. It's not on the manager. It's not on our players. It's on the higher-ups. If you think he doesn't care about Spurs, why the hell would he say that? You just get your paycheck and get yourself gone in the summer. If you don't think that shows that, him saying that shows that he doesn't care, I don't know what else to say. I do not know what else to say, because you have got players who have played for this club, who have backed higher ups, who have backed people that shouldn't be backed. He's here now saying, I want to compete. We have the ability to compete. Can we compete? Knocking upstairs, like, can we compete? We, as players, want to. We just need a bit more support. We love this manager. We just need a bit more support so we can compete. How many players have been here for years who have not said the same thing, but care more? Harry Kane cared. He wanted to compete. He was trying to put pressure on the higher-ups to spend money to compete. Son this season come out and said, higher-ups. Maddison, higher-ups. But people will talk about, look at those players that give it all on the pitch. So why is it that they care? Like, people will talk about, like, Oliver Skipp, Ryan Masons, Pierre Højbjergs. Look at them battling on the pitch. They care. But players who also bat on the pitch, who call out higher-ups because they want to succeed, don't care as much. I don't get that logic. There's maybe I'm missing a massive segment in the middle, but there's one thing, and we're missing something. It's like building a bridge and you're missing half that bridge. Well, how am I supposed to get to your side if you can't piece it together? Please tell me where, like, maybe I'm missing something. I'm not being Larry. I'm not being rude. Like, if I am missing something, by all means, comments, shoot, let me know what the picture that I'm missing is. Because everything that I have heard from him, and maybe, actions speak louder than words. I do get that thinking. Maybe he could do this. Maybe he could do that. But he's played through injury this season. Okay, yeah, he wanted to play for Argentina. I get that. But he still had to play through injury to play for Spurs. He wanted to play for Spurs. He's publicly backed this manager. He's publicly backed his teammates. That shows a guy that cares. So if he cares for his country, so be it. If I played for Tottenham and England wanted to call me up, hell yeah, I want to be called up. Because I care. There's nothing wrong about caring about two different things, Which are your surprise call you for England? I don't know what you mean, Excel. Sonny to buy news. Talked about it on Saturday. Exactly, Andy. Okay, it's like me saying the Aussie Davis Cup squad against England wants you, but I replied, I got club tennis tournament on this weekend. What people say, the thing is, the people will go, look, the club pay his wage. They're allowed to not have him go off if they don't think he's right to go off. Teams do it all the time. It's not shocking. At the end of the day, this is the guy that they pay weekly wages to play for their football club. I get that thinking. I do get that thinking. But if a guy is also, like I said, if he comes through this 2-week period and he's played, maybe 90 minutes against Fulham, not this weekend, the weekend following, right? He plays 90 minutes against Fulham, and let's say he plays against Bournemouth at the weekend, he plays 60 minutes through those, no injury issues. And also, can I just say, when I say no injury issues, I actually mean no injury issues, because the amount of times we've gone, oh, yeah, he's got through no injury issues, and then we don't see him for 2 months, and you go, well, I think there might have been an injury issue somewhere in that period after hearing that and where we are now. There was an injury issue in there. What I actually mean is he plays 60 minutes, he plays that 90 minutes, he has no injury issues. Actual, none. Like, all good, everything's good, everything's moving the way it should. You know, there's no bones sticking out of body, there's no limbs that are facing the wrong direction. He's absolutely fine. He's not even got a cold, you know? Then go off and play for Argentina. Why not? You're fit, you know? Argentina versus Brazil. Yeah, Argentina. I think that's the second game, if I remember correctly. 26th of March. Yeah, 26th of March, they play Brazil. Oh, that's tasty, that. That's tasty, that. Those are the games that I kind of wish they were on a bit earlier so I can watch, but it's on at like midnight, and I'm old. Don't think so, Adis. Apologies, Andy. I did assume he's fit when required, but Argentina. Yeah, no, I'm talking in the idea that he is going to be fit, hence why I have no issues with him going. Obviously, if he's not fit, then yes, I have issues with it, massive issues. But if he is fit and he's fine, and like the club, like I would expect the club probably want to do a test with him. They can, you know, let's check that flexibility. Let's check that, you know, quadricep. Is the quadricep okay? You know, yeah, everything's fine. All right, see you in a couple of weeks. You know, I've had it. Beat Uruguay and beat Argentina. Don't tell Bentancur that I've just said for you to go and beat Uruguay, by the way, because I just told him that he needs to beat Argentina. So just ignore me either way. Also, if you care about finances and want him gone, if he only cares about Argentina, he'll play better for them and can be sold for a higher price to get rid of him. Well, there's also that. And if you're old, I'm ancient. Well, I don't know. Tell that's how I feel. New diet starts today. I'll feel pretty crap in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, get up at 12-1. Yeah, absolutely. I'm 18 on the 21st of March. Let's go. At least Tottenham don't have to ruin my birthday. They tried to in mine. They got there a day later. Remind me closer to the time of D's, mate, when it's your birthday, because you got 3 weeks. You got just over 2 weeks to that game, to the big day. All right. But look, on Romero, just to sort of finish up, try not to get bent out of shape about it, because at the end of the day, it's still a couple of weeks before he goes. If he is genuinely fine, why would we keep him out of that squad? If he's not, then yes, I hope we do. But let's worry about that when we are closer to the time, because it's still a couple of weeks away. And at the end of the day, we've got 4 games before that international break. Let's just get through them and let's just then reconvene and see. But hey, we'll go from there. Give you a heads up, there will be some, when I come and talk about these topics going forward, I'm going to be putting out some shorts, 2 or 3 shorts, maybe a day at times, all right? About a minute long, where I give you a streamlined view on certain topics. So if you see them, drop a like on them. It always helps, gets more and more people to see the channel through algorithms. So I appreciate that. But I'm going to head off. I'm going to go walk a dog because it's lovely weather outside, and I'm going to go walk him. Otherwise, he's going to be losing his absolute mind at me in a minute. More Big D, how are you, my friend? National selection is the price of doing business in professional sport. Bingo. But yeah, we'll sort of see. But anyway, thanks very much for joining me this morning. Go enjoy the rest of your mornings, afternoons, evenings, wherever you are in the world. Go look after yourselves. Appreciate that, Ray. Steve, appreciate that. Go look after yourselves, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Peace.